Hello and welcome to the In the Now podcast. I'm Stanley Nzuki and I'll be diving deeper into the present moment and the challenges that we face whenever we try to stay present. So I'm going to ask you a question. How many times have you watched a teaching by a spiritual teacher and decided to let go and step into the present moment, only to go back to the same thoughts after a few hours? How many times have you decided to meditate for 20 minutes a day, only to stop after 3 days with the feeling that you have found enlightenment and there is no need to continue meditating? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I will tell you this. I have done this countless times. I have been struggling with this for a while now. I follow the works of teachers like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Eckhart Tolle, and Alan Watts. And every time I listen to them, I get the aha moment. I promise to live intentionally and be aware of my thoughts. Nevertheless, this gets challenging at times. So I decided to do some research and a little self-reflection to look at this issue. Like, why do I keep going back to this, to my old self? Why do I keep going back to the past? So these are some of the reasons that I came up with, some of the things I found out about myself and about others that push us to our old self despite our efforts to stay in the present moment. So one of the thing is that the body can trigger certain emotions due to conditioning, which in turn leads to odd thoughts at a subconscious level. For instance, the body can trigger a feeling of guilt, which in turn leads to thoughts of guilt. So if you are just seated and just doing something, working on a project, and then you start thinking about, then all of a sudden you have this feeling of guilt, and before you know it, you're already having negative thoughts on guilt. So that's how the body triggers such emotions because of conditioning. So if you're not aware of such thoughts, you find yourself ruminating over past events, and the vicious cycle begins whereby the body triggers an emotion that leads to a thought, which then reinforces the emotion. So the another thing that I discovered that pushes us back to the old self is that the present moment is unfamiliar and can be uncomfortable. So the present moment is unfamiliar and this can be uncomfortable, especially when we step into the present moment for the first time. Consequently, we would rather go back to the old self despite the pain because at least it's predictable. So when I discovered this, that we actually go back to the old thoughts, the old self, despite such thoughts being painful, at first I thought it made no sense for us to do that. But then I realized that the reason we go back to such thoughts is not because we are choosing the pain, it's because it's familiar. So we would rather be in that familiar environment, that familiar thought process, that familiar self, even if it's painful, because the present moment is it's not predictable, and so it's hard to manage considering you have not been living in the present moment in the past. So the other thing that I found out is that the illusion that worrying makes problems manageable is a major problem as to why we keep going back to the old self. So we condition ourselves to believe that whenever we encounter a challenge, we overthink it with the illusion that we can make it easier. Worrying makes life harder and keeps us in unnecessary pain. The future is beyond our control, and by thinking about it causes a crippling anxiety that affects our decision-making process. So there is this interesting quote from The Alchemist by Paul Coelho. It goes like this: the secret is here in the present. If you pay attention to the present, you can improve upon it and if you improve on the present, what comes later will also be better. So instead of worrying about the future or ruminating about past events, it is better to work on your dreams at this moment. So whenever you have a challenge, let's say it's something it's difficult, you want to work on and you don't know how to go about it. So instead of uh, dropping the issue, coming up with a plan on how to solve the problem, and then just moving on with life, we try to overthink it. We worry about it so much because we have this illusion that by worrying about it, we make the problem manageable, which is not true. For instance, let's say you have an interview tomorrow, you need to appear before a panel and for a particular job. So by overthinking about the interview, about what you're going to do, if it's going to go well, you forget the most important part, and that is what you can do right now. The only thing that you can do to make your life better can be done right now. You can't do it by overthinking, you can't do it by worrying. So instead of preparing for the interview, we switch to worrying. What am I going to wear? What am I going to say during the interview? And that makes our life difficult. And we actually prove ourselves right through the worry, because we go to the interview and we are worried because we didn't prepare well, we didn't dress properly because we were scared of what was going to happen. And so we end up not getting the things that we wanted. So in a way, worrying plays a role in self-sabotaging our lives. So we self-sabotage ourselves, making life really difficult for ourselves. So those are the three reasons that I've identified that push us back to the old self, that we have to really look at as we go forward. So so maybe you may be wondering if there are solutions that we can use to stay present and deal with such problems whenever they occur. So I have a few solutions that I'm going to share with you that you can use to ensure that despite the discomfort of the present moment, despite the fear that comes with the unfamiliarity and unpredictability of the present moment, there are things that you can do to stay present. So I'm going to talk about that now. So I'm going to, one of the things that you can do, this is the most important one that you can use in your life to stay present no matter what. You let awareness be part of every moment of your life. So don't let life just slip by without you noticing. Don't just let thoughts slip you by. Always be aware of every moment of your life. The goal is not to stop negative thoughts, but is to be there as the observing presence whenever they occur. If you can be aware of every negative thought that pops up in your brain, then you are in the right path. Whether you are on social media or in a business meeting, don't let thoughts go unnoticed. So even if you have a negative thought and you are aware of it, it can't hurt you. You won't experience those negative emotions as long as you are aware of whatever is going on. Because as long as you have the awareness that observes the thoughts that go on in your mind, you are free. You are free from the suffering that these thoughts can trigger through emotions. So always remember to always let awareness be part of your every moment. The other thing that you can do, it's a daily morning meditation. So meditation is very important. Meditation basically is trying to observe your thoughts, trying to quiet your mind. It's more like trying to empty your mind. So meditating for 10 to 20 minutes every morning gives you the awareness that you need to start your day. Having a good morning routine is the key to good mental health. So don't forget, every morning when you wake up, do a quick meditation. Try to silence your brain, observe your thoughts, quiet your mind before you get to work and stuff like that. So jumping into social media first thing in the morning is quite absurd, but it's a very common practice for many people. Social media is a quick way to disconnect from oneself, and the end results are often negative emotions such as regret, anger, sadness, and guilt. So always remember to do a meditation every morning. And if you feel like that's not enough, you can do meditations as many as you want during the day. You can do it in the morning, you can do it in the afternoon, in the evening. But always remember to meditate. Meditation it's will help you stay present during the day. And even if you feel like not meditating, don't forget to meditate. Make it a habit. So meditation will help you stay present. Meditation will help you go through the day despite the challenges that you may experience, despite the people you might deal with during the day. Meditation will help you be a better person, be better mentally, be better emotionally. So that's the other step that you can use to deal with those issues that take you back to the old self. So the other thing that I believe you can use to stay present. So the other thing that you can use to stay present is to let go of the idea that you will get salvation in the future. So some people live with this illusion that the present moment is an obstacle. It's the one that prevents them from getting to their dream job. It's the one that prevents them from getting to their dream partner, or getting their ideal happy life. So we live our lives waiting for better jobs, lovers, friendships to make us happy. But it's ironic that even after getting what we hoped for, we still want more. So the idea that happiness lies in the future makes us slaves of the mind. So it's important to understand that waiting for happiness, waiting for better things, it keeps you away from the present moment, and you forget that everything you need is right here, right now. Just that this doesn't mean that you should stop hoping. So stop waiting and start living right now, right here. So this does not mean that you should stop going for your dreams. You can still dream big and achieve greatness while living in a state of joy and satisfaction. So don't get it twisted that by trying to be present you are foregoing your dreams. No, you are not foregoing your dreams, but you are going for your dreams in a state of satisfaction and contentment. So that's crucial to understand. So as I come to the end of this episode, I would like to reiterate on the beauty of the present moment. Don't live the same day over and over again. Step into the present moment and change your life right now. Thank you for listening. See you next time.